Stop before you click away this video in complete horror. It's not about peacocking, it's not about openness or anything external to the self. Actually, today's video is speaking to the group of men and women who are waking up, who are starting to understand that attraction is about more than the words that we use. It is for the men and women who understand we've been sold a lie. You see, as part of the evolution of society, consumerism and modern culture started to tell us that our worth and the desire that we can capture and create in the world is tied to what we own. Having a nice car, living in a nice home, earning a lot of money, all fine things, but we're taught and we begin to believe that these are the things that attract desirable mates and healthy relationships. And yet, you know examples of guys who have very little, who aren't classically good looking, who aren't doing great financially, but just kill it with girls. And I knew a bunch of those guys too. And it just drove me crazy back in the day. And I began to really investigate why it was that they could create this level of attraction and desire. And I was at the time really struggling to get results. What I later found out was those men, they're just awoken to a fact that the rest of us miss, and that's this. They've unlocked their magnetism. They're just being really congruently who they even are. Authentic, aligned, social, expanded, not carrying heavy weight, but actually being happy in this world. And when that really began to register, I did see the world different. And it made a real big difference in how I move through the world and how I attract. So picture this with me. There's two different people. There's one guy who is a bit of a hustler, a bit of a grinder, and he's spamming his approaches, and he's being really diligent in getting his day game steps in, bless him. But he carries with him a certain weight. He's quite in his head. He is really trying to work on his technical abilities to be a good communicator, but he carries a certain density to him, right? Versus another guy who is cool, calm, and collected, and really is doing very little on the surface of it, but in a room full of men and women, all eyes are just on to him. He's got presence, he's got aura, charisma. His natural magnetism is there. You see, why is this? It's quite simple, really. The biggest killer of attraction is inner weight. It's carrying the burden that many of us who believed that our worth and value came down to things external to us begin to really absorb in. It's the lack of ease, it's the tension, it's the not being truly present in this life. This is about so much more than women. This is about masculine identity. And whilst a man is carrying the weight of performance, of having to prove his worth, of having to generate attraction, right? When he's not really truly expanded in who he is and wanting to be in this world congruent and aligned, then that weight leaks out of our pores, poisons our interactions, and gets us deeper and deeper into our head. Not really able to enjoy any of this at all, really. Which is the sad thing, I suppose. But nonetheless, rebuilding our magnetism is increasingly what more aware, more awake men and women alike are coming to terms with. Rebuilding your magnetism is your natural attractiveness, your natural energetic ability to attract and create positive social and romantic experiences. Rebuilding our magnetism is ultimately the journey back home to ourselves. It's the journey to wholeness, health, integration as a person. I'm here to tell you, after 5 years of experience in this space and having coached many men alongside my business partner, Coach D, who's done this for 10 years and coached hundreds, that the journey back to yourself and being truly happy and social and ending the war within is where the really worthwhile, like deeper connection and quality experiences that you're looking for will start to come. It is about shifting out of this perpetual chase. And if anyone has been in the pickup artist community, which I was in back in the day, or the self-improvement community, which I was in back in the day, it is an endless pursuit. It is rather, at a certain point, rather misery-inducing when one is drawn constantly into get, and you increasingly hollow yourself out, become more insecure, live a very unstable life, and unstable in the world. It was a challenging experience for me, but ultimately it woke me up to know that I really was already enough. So for the purposes of what we've got to explore, your outside mirrors your inside. To really reclaim magnetism is to become a high frequency, abundance-minded person. That mentality and that way of being is simply non-negotiable. It is what success in relationship and social life demands. When we are connected to our experience in this world and are living each day saying yes to ourselves by self-care, by reading positive materials, by working on our goals and objectives from a place of true detachment, working on our business, working on our personal brand, working on our career, working on our social skills, working on our physique, our health, all from the position of my cup is full, I'm whole, I'm here, and I embrace every aspect of life, no matter how positive or negative. That is when we rebuild our genuine magnetism and start to live in centeredness with ourselves. When you are completely living in the flow of your own reality, and we are saying yes to our life every day, by going to the gym, by having good positive habits, by having a great mindset, by belonging to incredible men's groups like the community that me and Dee run, by belonging to really excellent cultures of male and female greatness, where we strive to be the best version of ourselves, but from our integrity as beings. When the frame is really about attraction and alignment rather than the chase, then our magnetism comes back, and our ability to truly be who we are returns. And it's from there that we start to create amazing things in our life, in our business, in our personal life, in our relationship. It comes when we shift our energy and become a high vibration person. When we truly make the shift by doing the masculine identity work, of doing the reframes, of doing the deeper embodiment of owning who we are, right? And accepting and no longer living in tension of any area of life, but being here fully to take it in. Dynamic shift. You see more investment from interactions. You see women way more drawn. I mean, I would get comments telling me that this is more recently, after many years of this work, as I've awoken more. Now women will tell me, you've got a great energy, Ravi, or you've got a great head on your shoulders, or asking me things like, were you always like this? Did you just have great parents? Not understanding the many years of work it took to learn these things, to become who I really was, but what I had to clear a lot of mist to get to. So, what we all awaken to is that we are enough, and always were. And if you've watched this video and you've been struggling in your personal relationships, in your dating life, in your romantic life, then I just ask you and invite you to consider this frame. It doesn't mean that we don't take action. Action taking is a massive component of doing the work. And indeed, once we are living more centered, it becomes a lot easier, because we're no longer forcing our approaches, we're just screening for compatibility, really. Things get better when you know how to really shift. And to make that shift, me and Coach D are developing a private men's mastermind group to do this deep masculine identity work together on a 6-month group experience. If you're interested, you can comment mastermind below and we can give you more information. But otherwise, I invite you to subscribe if you haven't already done so, like, drop a comment, and understand that this is the way we're going to find freedom as men. Through magnetism, alignment, and truly liberating ourselves from the exhausting chase, which you have already probably grown sick and tired of, from the infinitude of ways of looking at this and all of the chaos that exists in this space. Eventually, the truth shines through, and the truth is that success and real connection is a byproduct of who you are when you're being who you really are. And deciding to be who you really are is the journey of coming from identity. And that journey, I invite you to now start to embark on. Ravi, thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to spreading positivity, connection, and abundance to your life. Thanks.